Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jeanelle Slade.
And I'm Russ Riesinger. Some breaking news out of Laurel tonight, where authorities have confirmed that they've located a body.
The woman's body found east of Laurel this evening. Authorities say there is no confirmation that this case is connected to a woman who's been missing since early Tuesday morning. Investigators are on the scene tonight, but they're not releasing any identification or more details at this hour. Now, this discovery comes nearly 48 hours after a 57-year-old Laurel woman went missing, and within the day that the sheriff's office asked for the public's help. Now, the body was discovered east of Laurel on Yard Office Road and Ridge Drive, about 3 miles from where Lori Bray's vehicle was found. Yellowstone County Sheriff Mike Linder says a positive identification has not yet been made and the cause of death is yet to be determined. But earlier today, dozens of people gathered to scour an area north of Laurel where Bray's vehicle was discovered. Bray was last seen leaving work from the Cedar Ridge Casino early Tuesday morning. Now, Linder says detectives believe they know who left with Bray based on surveillance video. Detectives are searching phone records and her car. Again, they have not identified whether the body discovered tonight east of Laurel is the missing woman, but we do expect to find out more tomorrow. Turf trouble. Tonight, an investigation into the safety of some of the fields that our Montana athletes play on. There are growing concerns over synthetic turf installed by a worldwide company called Field Turf. School districts across the country claim the turf hasn't held up and student athletes have been injured. MTN's chief investigative reporter Andrea Lutz is checking on these claims in Montana.
Field Turf is an impressive company installing synthetic grass on some of the most stunning and biggest stadiums in the country and in Montana. The Montana Grizzlies play on it, so do the Montana State Bobcats, as well as various Montana high school athletes. Still, for nearly a decade, defective turf was installed at hundreds of schools across the country. Tonight, we learn which fields were installed in Montana, and perhaps the most alarming part, these schools never even knew about it.
It seems everywhere we turn, turf. It's a faster surface, cost-effective, easy to maintain. Grass has become a thing of the past. And in Billings, more turf coming soon to Amond Park. But we're learning Field Turf, the company slated to do the work, has a complicated past. As the football season gets underway across the country this fall, one high school in Las Vegas is facing uncertainty.
I saw a rise in concussions, and then I started seeing all this stuff just started unfolding like a puzzle that's been waiting to be played, and I don't think it's right that it took this long.
Burns and concussions from what school officials say is due to the field. Rancho High School had no idea it was made with defective fibers. It was 10 years ago Laurel High School became one of the first in Montana to install synthetic grass.
You don't have to cut the grass, don't have to water the lawn.
It just so happens Field Turf also used defective fibers here too. And Laurel officials had no idea until MTN informed them.
You know, it surprises me actually a little bit, because you look at our field, with the naked eye, and it looks like it's still in halfway decent shape. We think we've taken care of it, but if there was issues and nobody's ever contacted us about it, then you wonder.
Roger Heimbinger is activities director, and together we took a look at Laurel's fields.
Unless there's a rip or something, it pretty much takes care of itself. It's supposed to anyway. Whatever we can do to keep our kids safe, we would certainly want to know that the field that we're playing on is a safe field.
A federal lawsuit filed in 2017 claims Field Turf installed hundreds of defective fields across the country. In 2014, Field Turf settled a lawsuit it brought against the supplier of fibers that were alleged to have been defective. A spokesperson for the company responded to our request for comment with an emailed statement saying the issue has not impacted safety, but only how the field looks as it wears. The company also said that state and federal investigations regarding the defective fields were closed without finding any wrongdoing. But Laurel isn't the only Montana school kept in the dark about Field Turf. At Bobcat Stadium, home to Montana's largest university, field turf was installed for the first time in 2008 with defective fibers. Bobcat Athletics also say they had no idea. The field was resurfaced again in 2017 because it was wearing out. So when a $1.5 million contract to install field turf at Amen Park in Billings was most recently approved, naturally, we had some questions. I told Billings City Administrator Chris Kukulski about the legal action against field turf. He says he's confident in the product Billings is getting, pointing back to that lawsuit Field Turf filed against its supplier.
The fact that the product today is not the product that it was they were having the issues with, I think is a factor. And so it gives me some level of comfort that some of the largest universities, football programs in the country are using it at Alabama, Notre Dame, NFL teams. So what would our primary concern be from its longevity is what kind of warranty does it come with? And is that warranty something that they're going to stand behind?
But when it comes to warranty, that's yet another complaint from schools like Rancho High School in Las Vegas.
They made us an offer to replace the entire field with the same defective material and honor a 1-year warranty. Or for like $175,000, we could have paid for an upgraded surface.
And while the field in Laurel seems to be holding up, Heimbinger is now questioning what kind of issues could be lurking within.
If my memory serves me right, they said the average life of a field would be about 14 years. And I don't know who the expert is in terms of what our field should look like and the condition of the deterioration, so I think it's something that we may have to look at.
And he's curious why no one from the company reached out about their defective product.
Yeah, I think the conversation needs to take place.
And I asked that spokesperson for Field Turf why the company never contacted both Montana State University and Laurel High School about those Duraspine fields that were made with defective fibers. He told me he couldn't comment on that beyond the statement already provided, again saying both fields have lasted beyond their 8-year warranty. For MTN Investigates, I'm Andrea Lutz.
Well, chronic wasting disease officially in eastern Montana after a white-tailed deer harvested near Huntley last month tested positive for that fast-spreading plague.
The 2-year-old buck was killed after it showed signs of the disease. The discovery now creates a CWD management zone that encompasses all of Yellowstone County and part of Bighorn County. Now, this means hunters cannot take the heads or spines of harvested deer, elk, or moose out of the county or neighboring CWD management zones.
CWD is always fatal and is mostly spread through animal-to-animal contact, but can also be spread if humans may unknowingly and inappropriately dump infected animal remains. It cannot be spread to humans or any other animals like pets or livestock.
A warning tonight. Montana State University Billings says someone spotted a mountain lion early this morning.
Now, this is the third confirmed sighting near campus since July, adding to a number of other cat sightings caught on camera this summer. Q2's Mitch Leahy checks in with wildlife experts to see if neighbors should be worried.
It was here near Mountain View Boulevard that at 7:10 a.m. Wednesday morning, a mountain lion was spotted roaming the area just north of the MSUB Alterowitz Gymnasium. Campus police say that the mountain lion was headed north towards the upper section of Mountain View Boulevard.
University police checked the area but were unable to locate the mountain lion. Bob Gibson with Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks says big game sightings in Billings are more common than you may think.
Just need to be aware. It's we're not saying don't go out at night or don't take your kids out, but just be aware so that there isn't a chance encounter with a cat.
The lions that Billings has been seeing over the summer are just passing through, and they're nothing to be afraid of.
They're acting like lions. When people come and when dogs come, they go away, they run away. And so they're acting just like they should, and so there's nothing that Fish, Wildlife and Parks is going to try to do to change what they're doing now.
Now, in the unlikely event of a mountain lion encounter, Bob Gibson offered up a few safety tips. Number 1, do not approach the animal and always leave it a route to escape. Number 2, Keep your eye contact and pick up any small children if possible. Number 3, raise your arms to make yourself appear larger, and even your coat if possible. Remember, the animal does not really want to have anything to do with you in the first place. And finally, in the unlikely event of an attack, people have successfully fought back with sticks, rocks, and even their bare hands. For more mountain lion safety tips, find this story at ktvq.com. Reporting in Billings, Mitch Laggy, MTN News.
And Gibson reminds us that mountain lions are common in the Yellowstone Valley and often move through the Alkali Creek area to hunt.
A video that brought Montana Border Protection and U.S. Customs into national headlines last year came before a federal judge today. Customs and Border Patrol filed a motion to dismiss charges after 2 women say they were illegally detained near Havre.
So can you tell us in the video, please, why you asked us for our IDs, please?
Ma'am, the reason I asked you for your IDs because I came in here and I saw that you guys are speaking Spanish, which is very unheard of up here.
This video taken by Ana Suda shows a border agent questioning Suda and Mimi Hernandez in May of 2018. Now, the video went on for 17 minutes and made national headlines. Today, the ACLU of Montana and a U.S. Customs representative made their cases in Great Falls. The ACLU is suing Border Protection for compensation and also for the court to issue an injunction to prevent this from happening to others. Border Patrol says the agent did not racially profile and that one cannot prove that substantial or immediate injury occurred after this incident. The ACLU of Montana says otherwise.
The incident itself is troubling enough because they're engaged in utterly normal conduct that you and I do on a daily basis, shopping at the grocery store or shopping at the convenience store, and they were pulled aside in that situation, and we believe that's simply unconstitutional.
If dismissed, the ACLU will move forward with claims against the Border Patrol agent and the U.S. government.
He may be out of prison, but Barry Beach is still not an entirely free man. Today, Roosevelt County denied Beach's petition to get off probation early. Beach originally confessed to the 1979 murder of Kimberly Neese near Wolf Point, but later argued that confession was coerced. After serving about 30 years, in 2015, Governor Steve Bullock commuted Beach's sentence to time served plus 10 years probation. The court denied Beach's petition today, saying it lacks the authority to change it.
Turning to weather, it's definitely not browning here, Bob, but we have some final remnants of winter here in our area, too.
Yeah, had a little light snow today, a little light rain today, and for a while, we actually had a winter weather advisory for southeastern Montana, which was to stay in force until midnight tonight. We were expecting maybe another inch of snow in some of the higher hills, but guess what? It's not midnight, but this thing's canceled. The reason why? Well, just take a look at the Doppler radar. Most of the moisture and precipitation that was there is now gone. It's all made its way up in towards the parts of North and South Dakota. A low pressure cell continues to sling a little moisture up around the northeastern corner of the state. And as you'll see here, a high-resolution forecast model shows that stuff will continue to move out of the area tonight. Looking for mostly clear and sunny skies tomorrow across most of south central Montana. But by Thursday night, here comes a new cold front. Then by Friday night, look what's happening here. Wow. Look at all that rain, possibly even snow moving in. We'll have more about that coming up in a few more minutes.
All right, thanks so much, Bob. Well, multiple people are dead and others injured following a plane crash at the Bradley International Airport in Connecticut today. And that plane, part of the vintage plane tour Wings of Freedom that was in Billings just this past July. 13 people were on the plane at the time of the crash, but the exact number of fatalities are unknown. The World War II aircraft that went down shortly after takeoff was the B-17 bomber known during the war as the Flying Fortress. Audio recordings indicate the pilot had requested to return to the airport shortly after takeoff due to a mechanical issue. Senator Bernie Sanders is taking a break from campaigning. The Democratic presidential candidate was taken to the hospital after experiencing chest pain at a campaign event Tuesday night. Doctors found a blocked artery and inserted 2 stents to open it up. His campaign says he's recovering and in good spirits. All his campaign events and appearances are canceled until further notice.
Well, First Lady Melania Trump will travel to Wyoming this week to promote U.S. national parks and her youth initiative. Mrs. Trump will be in Jackson Hole Thursday and will visit Grand Teton and Yellowstone National Parks during her trip. The White House said in a press release the First Lady will visit national parks and landmarks in Wyoming to spread the child well-being message that's a big component of her year-old Be Best initiative. MTN will have coverage of her Friday visit to Yellowstone.
Up next on tonight's 10 o'clock news, Montanans still digging out after the historic blizzard this weekend. Tonight we'll check in with ranchers near Browning.
And in sports, Laurel's guys and girls can make it a convincing state title run in the next couple of days. Scott will check in with both teams.
You're watching MTN News with Jeanelle Slade and Russ Riesinger. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Breen. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.